Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP was introduced to Excel in 2019. And if you're anything like me, you're a little bit stuck in your ways, especially if they're working, and you're still using VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Those are great formulas. I'm going to go over 4 benefits of XLOOKUP. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll create a copy of this sheet. I do this all the time. I don't think a lot of people know about it. If you take your tab, you hold down your left mouse key, drag that tab over, press and hold the control key. See that little plus sign got added to the sheet, and then let go of both the control sign or the control key and the left mouse same time, and it'll create a copy of that sheet. So these are the formulas we'll go over. I'm going to clear them out. Here, let's just say I've got some sales reps. This is the office the sales rep is in. This is their sales rep number, and this is the actual name of the person that is currently in that territory. I've got over here, let's just say it's some data from Salesforce or whatever. I've got the rep number. I've got the date of the sale amount. Let's just say I wanted to put together some reporting that had people's names on it, locations. And so I want to pull all that in here using Excel. I would start with the VLOOKUP. So I would say equals VLOOKUP. I would say go look at my rep number, go over to this table that I've got, lock in an absolute reference. Then I would say return to me the second column of that table and give me an exact match. So false in, enter, it tells me R5 is Manny, which is what I was looking for. Copy that formula, paste it down. R7 is Michael, looks good. Now here I see an NA, R2. Looks like, I'm missing something here, but that comes through in a not so great format. Of course, I could wrap this in if error and then give me something like in table. Make that look a little nicer, but now I've got an even longer, more complicated, uglier looking formula. So we'll just stick with that. That is probably all familiar to you. Let's see what X lookup looks like. So the first argument is exactly the same, lookup value. So we'll go point out to that rep. Now it wants a lookup array. So I will just grab one column array, in this case, one column, lock it in just like always. That wants a return array. To return there, lock it in. It gives me 3 optional arguments. The first one is very useful. It's if not found. So instead of wrapping it in an if error, I can just say not in table. The other 2 only used in limited circumstances. Turn that formula. It tells me Manny just like VLOOKUP. Everything looks good. Got this not in table. Now I wanted to do a VLOOKUP to get office. I would have to rearrange this table. If you're familiar with VLOOKUP, the table or the data that you want to return always has to be to the right of the data that you would be looking up. So if I'm going to look up this, I can only return anything over here. I can't return anything to the left of what I'm looking up. So that would give us the first benefit of XLOOKUP. I don't have to change anything. I can say equals XLOOKUP, rep, array, again is the rep, same as the last time I did this. Now my return array, doesn't matter where it is, left or right of the lookup array. Specify it, lock it in. Again, I can put in not in table. Tells me Tulsa. Is Manny in Tulsa? He is in Tulsa. That's good. Down. Is Jerry in Springfield? Jerry's in Springfield. So, looking good. So first benefit there. Second benefit. Let's just say someone wants to come in here to this table and put in type. So this is a water rep. This person focuses on highway. Person focuses on manufacturing. This person focuses on wastewater. This person focuses on potential. This person focuses on coding. So now when I go to get my rep name with my VLOOKUP, this 2 is fixed. So now it's returning my rep type instead of my rep name. XLOOKUP is unaffected. It continues to point to the actual rep names. There's benefit number 2. And number 3 is something called spilling. So Excel now supports array formulas. And if you don't know what you're doing with them, you can get in a lot of trouble, get very confused. But I'll show an example here of how you can purposely use spilling. So you could not do this with a VLOOKUP. If you go over to the XLOOKUP and look up value instead of normal, you would only ever specify one cell here. XLOOKUP specify that entire array because ultimately I do want to drag that formula all the way down as you've seen me do. So say, okay, our lookup array is still the same. And what do we want to return? Still the office. So continue to say that table here. And what Excel will do is it'll say, hey, this person must want me to return the value of R3 all the way out here. R3 is Dallas. Now, if you notice, the formula is grayed out and there's this blue box. So if I go to edit this formula, it doesn't let me. If I go to edit Chicago, it doesn't let me. I have to go to the top of the blue box and then you'll see formula go back and now I can edit it. So that actually makes your calculation more efficient, reduces your workbook size. That's benefit number 3. The last benefit, real quick, is that it can search horizontally too. So, simple example here, I've got 5 people in my business. Somebody does the accounting, somebody does marketing, somebody does sales, there's an engineer, and there's an HR person. I wanted to know, hey, see it just in a different format. I would have to come and say HLOOKUP. I can't use VLOOKUP, I have to use a different formula. Find Chris. Look at this table. Turn the second row in this case and give me an exact match. So This is in sales. That's good. And Diane is in it. That's good. Just need to know the difference between HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. XLOOKUP can do both. So even with my XLOOKUP, I can come over here and show you that dynamic array again. So we can select both of these guys. Look up here. We can return here. Oh, tells me Chris is in sales and Diane is in engineering. I hope that helps. There's some great benefits to XLOOKUP. VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP still work, but this is definitely some great improvements that Excel has made, and I think it's a more resilient and robust formula.